I've always dreaded my birthday. Every year, on that day, I had to kneel before my mother's grave for an entire day. Mom died from an amniotic fluid embolism the very day she gave birth to me. From then on, I became the family's culprit. Dad hated me. My grandparents never gave me a kind look. They all said I was the one who killed Mom. On my 8th birthday, I cautiously tugged at Dad's sleeve, speaking in a small voice. Dad, I feel so unwell today. Can I not go to Mom's grave? But Dad's eyes turned red, and he roared at me. Your mom died giving birth to you. If you don't go to her tombstone and repent, how can you face her? He wouldn't listen to my explanations. Like discarding trash, he dropped me in front of Mom's tombstone and walked away without looking back. Watching Dad's retreating figure, I let out a soft laugh. Dad, when I die, will you stop hating me then? Dad had long since disappeared from sight, leaving me alone at the tombstone with a pile of unburned paper money. I curled up, leaning against the cold stone. Mom, I whispered, Auntie Doctor said I have a very serious illness. My stomach will hurt constantly, until I die. As I finished speaking, the pain in my belly intensified, like 1,000 ants boring into my flesh. The wind grew stronger, whipping my hair into a tangled mess and blowing the ashes of the paper money onto my neck. I raised a hand to wipe them away, only to feel cold sweat on my face. Mom, when I die, will I finally see you? When I do, please don't dislike me like Dad does, okay? I didn't mean to make you die. I lay prostrate against the tombstone too weak to move from the pain, my gaze fixed on Mom's smiling face in the photo. Suddenly, I remembered what my grandparents used to say. They said Dad and Mom were childhood sweethearts, growing up together, always inseparable. Later, they grew up, naturally married, and lived very happily. Grandma even said Mom was the smartest and prettiest girl on the whole street. She could sing, dance, and paint, and Dad always doted on her like a little princess. Grandma also mentioned that, as I was nearing birth, Dad was ecstatic every single day. He bought tiny clothes and toys for me in advance, telling everyone he met that he was going to be a father. But everything changed on the day I was born. Dad never got to see Mom deliver me safely. Instead, he received news from the doctor. The doctor said Mom didn't survive an amniotic fluid embolism. Dad, who had been eagerly anticipating my arrival, instantly turned red-eyed upon hearing the news. He went wild, trying to rush into the delivery room to strangle me. It took several doctors to hold him back and save me. From that day on, I became his enemy, the murderer who killed Mom. The sky slowly darkened, and the snow fell heavier, like goose feathers drifting everywhere. I suddenly remembered Grandma mentioning on Mom's death anniversary that it was also a day of heavy snowfall when Mom left, a cold that made everyone shiver. The searing pain in my stomach, which had been agonizing moments ago, slowly lessened as the snowflakes drifted down. I braced myself against the tombstone and slowly sat up, gazing towards the direction of home. These past years, Dad hadn't fared well either. Since I could remember, I'd never seen Dad smile. Every day, besides work, he would stare blankly at Mom's photo. I wanted to go back. Anyway, my remaining days were few. I might as well do something for Dad now. The house was eerily quiet. Dad hadn't come home from work yet. I gathered the dirty clothes from the sofa into the laundry basin, poured in detergent, and scrubbed them clean one by one, hanging them on the line in the yard. My hands were red and raw from the cold, but I didn't stop. After the clothes were hung, I took a broom and swept the entire yard and inside the house. Chinese New Year was coming soon. I wouldn't be here for it, but I hoped Dad wouldn't look so gloomy this year. Done with the chores, I dug out the pocket money I had saved for a long time from my backpack. Counting it, it was exactly $87.5. This was just enough to buy some groceries. Clutching the money, I walked to the market, selecting some green vegetables Dad liked, potatoes, and the occasional cut of pork belly he bought. Fearing Dad might forget, I found a sticky note and scrawled "Eat the green soon, pork belly" in the freezer, then taped it to the fridge. With little change left, I stood outside the cake shop, hesitating for a long time before finally going in.